On a quiet day in May 1828, a boy appeared in Nuremberg. He stood alone in worn boots, holding a letter. His steps were unsteady, like someone learning to walk for the first time. No one knew where he had come from. He seemed about 16, pale, confused, and strangely innocent. The letter he carried was addressed to the captain of the 4th Squadron. It said the boy had been raised in isolation, that he wanted to be a cavalryman like his father, and that his guardian could not care for him anymore. But the letter had no signature. The boy could barely speak. He muttered only a few words: "Horse, don't know, take me home." He didn't understand basic objects, didn't know what bread was, or a candle, or a mirror. When someone handed him a pen, he could barely hold it. Yet when given paper, he wrote a name: Kaspar Hauser. That was all. Not a place, not a family, just a name. The city was baffled. Who was this boy without a past? The authorities took him in. Doctors examined him, teachers observed him, and everyone became more confused. Kaspar said he had lived in a dark hole. He'd been alone there for as long as he could remember, with a straw bed, a toy horse, bread and water left for him daily. He never saw the person who fed him. He had no sunlight, no other humans, no books, no sound, no sky, only darkness and silence. Until, he claimed, one day a man taught him to walk. The man taught him how to write his name, then took him to Nuremberg, left him in the street. That was it. An entire childhood reduced to a sentence. People were stunned. Was he lying? Was he traumatized? Or had someone truly raised a child in secret for over a decade? Newspapers called him the child of Europe. They say history repeats itself, but what about the parts we forgot? Welcome to Echoes of History, the channel where we dig up the dusty corners of the past to uncover the weird, the wild, and the wait, what? Stories they didn't teach you in school. Grab your curiosity and maybe a cup of tea, because what you read about to hear might just change how you see the world. Philosophers, doctors, and nobility all came to see him. Some believed he was an experiment, a human raised in isolation. Others thought he was a fraud. But some saw something else: royal blood. Rumors began to swirl. Was Kaspar Hauser the lost heir to a throne? Perhaps the kidnapped son of the Grand Duke of Baden, hidden away so another could inherit. The idea was romantic, tragic, and politically dangerous. Suddenly, Kaspar wasn't just a mystery, he was a threat. As his language improved, he told more stories. He recalled the man in black who kept him. He said the food was sometimes drugged. He'd wake up with new clothes or bruises. But his memories came in flashes, like fragments of a dream. His innocence charmed many. He cried at the sight of flowers. He laughed when he touched snow. He flinched at loud sounds. Everything was new, like seeing the world for the first time. But not everyone was enchanted. Some accused him of acting. His story had holes. His emotions sometimes seemed perfect, too theatrical. The people were split. Was he a royal child lost to time? A poor boy abused and abandoned? Or a cunning orphan spinning lies for fame? Meanwhile, Kaspar just wanted a home, a protector, a life. He was taken in by various guardians, each one fascinated, then frustrated. He was curious but stubborn, intelligent but erratic. Some found him exhausting, others pitied him deeply. In October 1829, something terrifying happened. Kaspar was found bleeding from a deep wound on his forehead. He claimed the man in black had returned, that he had been attacked. But no one saw the assailant. Some doubted his story. Others feared for his life. He was moved to a safer home. And once again, Europe leaned in. The boy who emerged from nowhere was no longer just strange, he was in danger. His presence seemed to stir something in the world, a fear of secrets too long buried, a longing for answers in the age of reason, and a question that echoed louder with every passing month. Who was Kaspar Hauser? A lie, a miracle, a missing piece of history, or a boy whose truth was too fragile to survive the world? After the attack, Kaspar's fame only grew. He was no longer just a curiosity, he was a potential target. And wherever mystery lingers, theories bloom. Some believed the wound was self-inflicted. Others whispered of assassins. Was someone trying to silence the boy with no past? Or was Kaspar trying to hold on to his spotlight? To protect him, a philosopher named Georg Friedrich Daumer took him in. Daumer believed Kaspar was pure, even holy. He treated him gently, and Kaspar began to blossom. He learned to read, to play music, to draw. He spoke of justice and beauty. But he also had violent outbursts. He'd scream when touched unexpectedly. He distrusted mirrors and feared darkness. Daumer thought these were signs of deep trauma, but others saw manipulation. Was he wounded or clever? Each side had its evidence, and as Kaspar matured, he became harder to explain. He contradicted old stories, changed details, denied things he'd once insisted on. The press turned skeptical. Perhaps he's just a foundling. One article said, not a prince, but a pretender, but the Baden theory wouldn't die. According to it, the rightful heir to the Grand Duchy had vanished in infancy, and Kaspar fit the age, the timeline, even the look. A few nobles believed him, a powerful woman. Countess Sophia of Hochberg called him an imposter, but others weren't so sure if he was lying. He'd kept the ruse for years. If he wasn't, then someone somewhere knew the truth. Meanwhile, Kaspar's behavior became more unpredictable. He was moved again, this time to the home of a British nobleman, Lord Stanhope. Stanhope was fascinated by the case. He funded investigations, sent people to Hungary, to Baden, to trace the boy's origins. But nothing stuck. No family claimed him. No village remembered him. The silence around his early life was total. Either he came from nowhere or someone had erased every trace. Lord Stanhope eventually withdrew his support. He still paid for Kaspar's expenses, but distanced himself. He, too, was beginning to doubt. And Kaspar felt it. Rejection, again. His letters turned sad, his drawings darker. He once wrote, "I have no one. I came from a prison, and I still live in one." Then came the final chapter. On a gray December day in 1833, Kaspar staggered home, bleeding. He had a stab wound in his chest. He said a man had lured him to the gardens with a promise of information, then attacked him. His pockets held a folded note. The handwriting was not his own. The grammar was strange. It read, "Hauser will be able to tell you quite precisely how I look and from where I am. To save Hauser the effort, I want to tell you myself from where I come. I come from the Bavarian border, on the river. I will even tell you the name, MLO, a code, a place, a signature." No one knew. The ink was fresh, but Kaspar's wound was fatal. 3 days later, he died. He was 21. The boy who stepped out of darkness had returned to it, and with him, all the answers. The public reacted with sorrow, then suspicion. Some believed he had staged the attack and botched it. Others swore it was murder. The authorities were baffled. No suspect, no motive, just a dead man. A cryptic note, a legacy of confusion. He was buried in Ansbach. His tombstone read, "Here lies Kaspar Hauser, enigma of his time, not son, or orphan, or prince, just enigma." Over the years, new theories surfaced. That he was mentally ill, that he was manipulated by adults chasing fame, that he was a pawn in a royal cover-up. DNA tests in the 1990s were inconclusive. The mystery remained intact. Some believed his story had mythic value, the archetype of the lost child, pure and exiled, a symbol of the broken connection between civilization and innocence. Others saw it as a cautionary tale of how society projects fantasies onto strangers. Kaspar had become a canvas for Europe's fears and hopes. Was he a noble victim or a brilliant liar? An abused boy or a skilled deceiver? In the end, no one truly knew. And maybe that's why his story still haunts us. Because the greatest mysteries aren't about what happened, they're about what we choose to believe. Death didn't end Kaspar Hauser's story. In many ways, it gave it wings. The boy with no past became the man with endless futures. Across Europe, his story passed from whispers to ink. Newspapers speculated. Philosophers debated. Novelists dreamed. Was he a stolen prince? A feral child? A living riddle sent to test society's conscience? In the decades that followed, books multiplied. Plays were written. Paintings made. Each retelling changed him slightly. He became a mirror showing us what we wanted to see. For romantics, he was innocence betrayed. For cynics, a case study in fraud. For mystics, he was something else entirely. A soul between worlds. A wanderer dropped into the wrong time. Then came the psychologists. Freud was fascinated by cases like Kaspar's. He saw trauma, repression, symbolic rebirth. The locked room of Kaspar's childhood echoed the subconscious, a place with no language, no time. And then sudden emergence into a world of rules. Modern psychologists saw signs of developmental delay, or sensory deprivation, or profound abuse. Some even suspected selective mutism, or autism misread by a 19th century lens, but none of it explained the note, or the wound, or the panic in Kaspar's eyes when asked about his past, even today. The case is studied in criminology courses, it appears in textbooks and podcasts. In 1996, DNA tests were performed. Using a blood-stained item from Kaspar, the goal, compare his bloodline to the Baden royal family. The results, inconclusive, too many ears, too many hands. In 2002, another test tried again using hair and skin from preserved relics. This time, the match was close, but not exact, so the debate continued. Not prince, not proven fraud. Just uncertainty. In a 19th century coat, statues were raised in his memory. Museums hold Kaspar Hauser exhibitions. A German film, Kaspar Hauser by Werner Herzog, captured his life as dreamlike tragedy. The actor's gaze wide, confused, felt real. And maybe that's why the story resonates. Because we all carry a little Kaspar inside. The feeling of being dropped into a world we don't fully understand. Of trying to speak a language no one taught us. Of hoping someone, someday, will tell us where we belong. Kaspar asked simple things. Where am I from? Why was I hidden? Who am I? And no one ever answered him. So, we keep asking for him. In books, in forums, in quiet midnight searches, hoping maybe this time the pieces will align, hoping for a clue overlooked. But maybe mystery is the point. Maybe Kaspar's story survives because it was never solved. Because in a world obsessed with certainty, he reminds us how fragile facts can be, how memory can vanish, how identity can be rewritten or erased. Today, in Ansbach, his gravestone still reads, "Here lies Kaspar Hauser, enigma of his time." Tourists leave flowers. Some leave notes. Others just stand in silence, wondering what it must have felt like to walk into a city with no name, no history, no anchor. Just a boy and a letter, and a story that would ripple across centuries. Some historians believe we'll never know more than we already do, that all the documents, all the relics have been found. And yet, every few years, someone claims a new theory, a rediscovered journal, a new DNA method, a hidden link in a royal line. The door never quite closes, not fully, because in the mystery of Kaspar Hauser, there's something elemental, a story both absurd and poetic, both lonely and eternal. One boy's life, that became everyone's question. Was he lost, or made to be lost? Was he real, or performance? Was he tragic, or cunning? We can't say for sure, but when he said I wanted to be a writer like my father, maybe he wasn't imagining nobility. Maybe he just wanted to belong to something, anything that felt real. That's it for today's Forgotten Tale. If this story made you raise an eyebrow, or don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that dusty little bell so you never miss another echo from the past. Drop it in the comments. We're always listening for new echoes. Got a weird bit of history you think we should cover? Until next time, keep your curiosity loud and your history weird. That's it for today's Forgotten Tale. If this story made you